So this video is going to be a little different. In this one we'll be drawing this very nice looking art. It is drawn using pure recursion and it is called a Sierpinski triangle. If I open the Wikipedia page of Sierpinski triangle, it says that it has an overall shape of an equilateral triangle which is subdivided recursively into smaller equilateral triangles. So you can see it well in the diagram where you have this big triangle. It is divided into three smaller equilateral triangles, and each of the smaller one is again divided into even smaller equilateral triangles, right? And this is exactly what we have done over here. So we'll be trying to generate Sierpinski triangle looking as beautiful as this one using a library called as p5.js. So the entire code would be written in JavaScript. The library p5.js gives us constructs which helps us do visual programming. So if you want to unleash your creative side of things and want to try out visual programming, do give p5.js library a shot. I've been using this for past 2 years, and anytime I'd want to do something visual, I just write code in using this library, and it's so amazing to do this. So what I'll do is I'm starting with a very base configuration where I'm defining a canvas width of 600, canvas height of 600, doing some basic setup and drawing a background. This video will be doing live coding, so I'm bound to make some mistakes, so please bear with me, but we'll have so much fun while implementing this. So to start with, what I'll do it is, let's draw the big triangle first. And while drawing the big triangle, what we definitely know is we need 3 points. Let's say we need 3 points p1. We'll do a create vector. So this create vector is a function provided by p5.js library, which is basically nothing but creating a small struct having x, y, z values. So where z is optional. So p1 is my top middle point, so the top point of my equilateral triangle. So it has an x of canvas width by 2 and y of 0. P2 would be create vector of its x is 0, but y is canvas height, while my p3 is create vector canvas width canvas height. So what I've done is p1 is my top point, p2 is my bottom left, and p3 is my bottom right. Now I'll draw a triangle out of it. So p5.js gives us a nice function called triangle, through which we need to pass in its 6 arguments, which is x and y of each of the 3 points, and it draws a triangle for us. So it will be p1.x, p1.x, p1.y, p2.x, p2.y, p3.x, p3.y. And if I run this, I should see a triangle. Yeah, we indeed have a triangle. Now what next? Let's make code a little cleaner. I'll create a before creating this, let's fill this thing with a random color. So I'll pick so if I want to fill this with black color, I can pass in fill comma. Fill is a function that helps us fill any shape, and it accepts a color. And here I'll pass in 0, 0, 0, trying to fill this thing with black, and we have a black triangle here, right? So instead of filling it with black, let's just pick a random color here. So I'll say get random color, and let's create this function called get random color, and what it does is it returns color, but instead of 0, 0, 0, we'll pick a random value between from 0 to 255. So I'll give it 0, 255, and I'll select a random R, random G, and a random B. So every time we run it, we should see the triangle having a very different color, and we indeed have that. So let's make code a little leaner and a little cleaner. I'll create a function called draw triangle. Triangle which accepts point p1, p2, and p3, and does these 2 things. So it fills it actually picks a random color to fill from 0 to 255, and it draws a triangle for us, accepts 3 points, p1, p2, p3, and if I run it just to ensure everything is working fine, and yeah, it is. So let's create a class called triangle to just basically abstract things out a little bit. What it would do it would have a constructor which accepts point p1, p2, p3, Set this point locally, p1 equal to p1, this dot p2 equal to p2, this dot p3 equal to p3. And now what we'll do it is, I'll have a draw function which does nothing but invokes draw triangle with this dot p1, this dot p2, this dot p3. So I've just created this class to make our future code look a little cleaner, because we would be invoking a function that accepts a triangle and does this thing recursively. So it would help us do that neatly. So I'll create a triangle T1 over here using new triangle, and it accepts p1, p2, p3. I'll remove this draw triangle. Instead of draw triangle, I'll do t1 dot draw. And even after doing this, nothing should change, because all we have done is just give it a bit of a structure, right? So yeah, everything is working fine. When I call t1 dot draw, it invokes this thing which invokes draw triangle and fills with random color and does that, right? So we are here. Now the next part over here is we would want to split this big triangle into 3 smaller sub triangles, and it gets those 3 triangles by joining the midpoints of the 3 sides. So in order to find out midpoint of a line, what needs to be done is we just take average of x and y, right? And basically that's how we get the midpoint. So what I'll do is I'll define a function called get midpoint. It accepts p1 and p2, and what it does is it returns a new point, create vector, and does average of p1 dot x, p1 dot x plus p1 plus p2 dot x by 2, comma p1 dot y plus p2 dot y by 2, and we have a function that gives us midpoint. So now what we need to do it is we draw the first level of the Sierpinski triangle. So what I'll do is I'll create a function called draw Sierpinski triangle, which accepts a triangle and does things recursively. But for now, let's just do it for one level explicitly. I'll do a function draw Sierpinski triangle which accepts a triangle, and what it would do it is, what we need is to split this bigger triangle into 3 sub triangles. What we want is we would want to basically draw a triangle which is created by connecting the midpoints of 3 sides. So we find the midpoint m1. M1 is the midpoint. Get midpoint. Yeah, m1 is a midpoint. So from this triangle, m1 is a midpoint from for the side p1, p2. So it goes for tri dot p1, tri dot p2. M2 is the side. M2 is the midpoint of side tri dot p2 comma tri dot p3, while m3 is the midpoint of tri dot p3 comma tri dot p1. So basically m1 is the midpoint of the left side of the triangle, m2 is of the base, while m3 is of the right. So now what we do is we create a triangle out of it. So let t1 is equal to new triangle, and we pass in m1, m2, m3, right? Because what we want to do it is we would want to draw this big triangle within it. And what we do is t1 dot draw. Let's run, and we should have a nice looking triangle. Yeah, we do have that. So it picks color at random. We have a big triangle and it is divided into 3 sub triangles. Now all we have to do is call this function recursively on the 3 sub triangles that we have, right? So what we do is we create the, let me call this t0 instead, because we would not want to do anything with this big triangle. If you see over here, we don't recursively call anything over here. We call it for the three sub triangles that are created here, right? We have nothing to do with this big inverted triangle there. So the idea is simple. We create 3 triangles. Now 3 triangles are created using what? So T1 is the top small triangle. It is created with 3 vertex, which is tri dot p1. So the p1 of the main triangle, and midpoint of the left side, midpoint of the right side, which is M2 and which is M1 and M3, right? So this is what my T1 triangle is, my top triangle. My T2 triangle, which is the bottom left triangle, is created using the vertex P2 of the main triangle and midpoint of left side and the bottom side. So left one is M1 and the bottom one is M2. And my third triangle T3, which is the bottom right triangle, it is with the side P with the vertex P3 of the main triangle and joining the midpoint M2 and M3, right? And all we do is invoke my draw Sierpinski triangle recursively for T1, for T2 and for T3. Now if I run this, what do we get? We get a very nice looking, no, but this is not Sierpinski triangle, right? What has happened is it gives me error too much recursion because there is no base condition to a recursion. And obviously what is happening is it is continuously just trying to split the top triangle into smaller and smaller and smaller triangles. And since there is no return of my recursion, it is continuously doing that. So what we would do it is we would need to terminate our recursion. So what we do is we could define a variable called level, which would help us return our recursion. So what we do it is we would go only till that certain depth. So let me create a variable called basically let me pass in a value called depth in Sierpinski triangle so that we could invoke return there, depth, and if depth double triple equal to level, so this is the max level, then we do return, right? And every time we do here, while invoking it, we pass in depth plus 1. So whatever the depth there is for the next set of recursion, do a plus 1. Now if I run this thing for the depth 3, we get a very nice looking Sierpinski triangle for depth 3, right? Now let's increase it to 5 and see what do we get. We get even nicer picture. Let me do it for 10. It might take some time to render, but yeah, this is so nice. This is what Sierpinski triangle is, right? And it just takes, and so basically this is the beauty of visual programming, like the things that you are coding, you are actually kind of seeing it happen. So yeah, so we are successful in drawing our Sierpinski triangle using just very simple recursion, and it did spit out such an amazing art. So yeah, basically hope this one motivates you to do more and more visual programming and play around with recursion. There are tons of interesting algorithms out there. I'll be trying to cover few interesting ones in the future videos. So if you guys like this video, give this video a big thumbs up. If you guys like this channel, give this channel a sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, et al.